Raj Khedun. Welcome to the Dear Souls podcast. What ignites your energy and inspires you to do what you do on a daily basis?
Oh, well, thanks for having me, Jacqueline. It's a real pleasure. We're going
You're
to have an
welcome.
epic conversation here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what inspires me to do what I do? I have to give you a tiny bit of a Genesis backstory. So
Okay.
I was 3 years old. My mother takes me to nursery for the first time, in London,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm born. And we're walking around in the library in the nursery. And the two first books I pick up off the shelf, I don't know if it was instinct or intuition or whatever it was. First I pick up is about dinosaurs. And the second one is about planets.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So for whatever reason, these two images are so etched on my memory. Like it's like yesterday. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Right. And they're so cleanly etched in my memory that these images guided me more than my education at school.
Wow.
Yeah. And, I think the fascination with things like dinosaurs, when kids go to museums, they see cartoons, they see films with dinosaurs, it's just incredible, fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
My question when I was a child was, what causes one animal to evolve into a higher form of intelligence? Right. So how do you go from being a meat-eating carnivore like a Tyrannosaurus Rex to now become a Diplodocus, which is peaceful and peace-loving and eating vegetarian food?
Right.
And you see, and then the characteristics and the nature and the vibration and the frequency of that animal, do they move from one species to another? Right?
How old were you when you were asking yourself these questions? Are you
No.
kidding? No
Yes.
way. My God, 3 years old. I don't even remember what I was thinking at 3.
It's unbelievable.
That's
Yeah, it
insane.
is. But you know what? Why am I saying this? Because this whole evolution idea followed me ever since then. Evolution, like, okay, I would hear a voice in my head saying, there's something between this type of person and this type of person because of the characteristics they manifest and the conduct they portray through their behavior. I'm thinking, what do you mean by that? So I'm hearing this voice in my head. I'm saying, quick, just go study, go look, learn. Life is great. You're going to learn so much in this life. And I'm thinking, who's saying all this stuff, right? And I didn't realize it's my own conscience telling me this. Call it God, call it
Wow.
higher consciousness, call it guru, whatever you want to call it. But this thing was talking to me
Yeah.
since I was a kid, right? And the thing with the planets, which I
Wow.
hope people can try to resonate with a little bit. There are these planets in the solar system. Earth is a little blue dot. But ask yourself the question, why is there Mars? Why is there Jupiter? Why is there Saturn? Why is there Mercury? Why is there Venus? We know they're there, but what exactly are they doing there? And how do they impact human beings' lives? If you look,
Yeah, a lot of us don't ask ourselves those questions. We just think, oh, yeah, the planets are cool. Yeah, they probably have their significance, but we don't dive into that. And I know now, like, even me as a woman, as a feminine, energy that I'm tapping into more, I'm noticing that the moon and the planets and all that has an effect in my body because I went through it this weekend. This weekend, as the planets were aligning, my body was in pain. My knees were killing me. My neck was killing me. Like, I was in so much pain. I was exhausted, all these things. And I'm just like, it's the shift. I could feel the shift because I'm so sensitive. We're all connected. We have earth inside of us. That's the easiest way I could, say it. And I was like, wow, this is fascinating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you look at on YouTube, for example, you can look up videos about Mars. And there are robots on Mars exploring the surface of Mars. So you can go on there, you can see what the surface of Mars looks like. You can see what the sky looks like. It's kind of reddy orange color. There's nothing on the planet. It's just rock. There's no water. There's no plants. There's no creatures on there. Nothing. No skeletons from previous. Nothing. And now people say, well, it's nothing. I say, well, no. You should be even more intrigued. Why is there a planet with nothing on it in the solar system? How can it be redundant? It can't be redundant. Nothing in nature is redundant. It's there for a purpose. But what is it, and what's it got to do with you? That's the question.
Yeah.
So if that answers your first question, that's my fault.
Yeah. It does. It does. That's pretty cool because we don't think about those things, but the planets and the moon and the sun has so much to do with everything. Everything. That's pretty cool. So, Raj, what inspired you to create the Keep Fit Kingdom, and what has your journey been like in health and wellness industry?
So I was always into health and fitness. Since I was young, I did some martial arts. I did 10 years of Wing Chun, which is the Bruce Lee style he popularized.
Oh, nice.
Close combat. close combat, martial.
Yeah.
So I probably say
Pretty cool. My dad was a big Bruce Lee fan. Yeah, we grew up with Bruce Lee in the house. Oh yeah.
Bruce Lee is so spiritual as well. His philosophy is amazing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So he also had 5 planets in Scorpio, believe it or not. So that showed his intense power and energy that he.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I got into health and fitness. I went to the gym a lot. I did the silly alpha male things like trying to compete with my guys in the gym about who could push the most weight, who could squat the most, who could press the most. And that was fun. But then I realized that in my early 20s, late 20s, I'm starting to feel pain in my body. Like aches and pains, and I'm taking all these protein powders and supplements. I'm thinking, do these things actually work? I don't think so. I'm not convinced that these supplements are actually doing anything for me.
Yeah. I feel you. I'm right there with you. I don't even take none of that stuff anymore either.
Yeah, but look, we spend hundreds, if not thousands of pounds or dollars on these supplements throughout our lives, and we never really know if they're doing anything. So I did a lot of fitness, everything from cardio to martial arts to a bit of gymnastics here and there. And then I realized that, I'd like to talk about this. So I started putting things in article form, started writing about it and put it on a blog.
Okay.
Yeah. So there we've got 2,555 articles on there right now.
Oh, nice. I gotta tap into that. Check that out. Yeah, of course.
So, but I just want to say, just to finish that, to add a bit of, say, icing on the cake, if we can. The reason that the fitness thing, it wasn't, what I realized is that it's not just about the body. We're not just a body. There's way more behind it. And that because we're not taught it in school, we have to struggle to think, what is it? They're saying you're biological. They're saying you're flesh and bone. But these guys are saying, no, you're electromagnetic. There's more than the bone and the flesh. And then you're thinking, hang on, who's right? The Western philosophy or the Eastern philosophy? Which one is right? Which one is wrong? Right? Because
what did you find?
Wow, we're only 10%. It's huge. Our flesh and bone is only 10% of it. The real nature is electromagnetic. Frequency and vibration. And that is infinite. This flesh and bone is limited, right? It's going to drop when you're either, 75, 85, 105 years old, whatever it is. But it's going to drop eventually. But the spirit, the energy, the consciousness is infinite.
Yeah.
So you can choose.
That's true.
But what I'm really at odds with, Jacqueline, is that the school system has to teach the kids these things from the beginning.
Oh, I'm there with you. I mean, I tell you, I left school. I'm a high school dropout because I was like, none of this that I'm learning here makes any sense to me. And I was an honor roll student. And I was just like, I can't deal with this. I couldn't deal with religion. None of that resonated with me. So I became rebellious, I guess, for society and their minds. It's like, you're a rebel, you could call it. But I realized now in my face and, having to get sick and all these things that I went through, it prompted me, it pushed me into my spiritual journey. So I've learned so much more than I've ever learned of anything else that I ever did in my entire life. And these last 2.5 years, it's been like mind-blowing, the things that I've learned, the reasons why we're here, what our bodies do, like our souls, what they mean, like why are we here, God's purpose, God's reason for us to come here to this earth. It's so fascinating, and it got me to study Kabbalah. I don't know if you're familiar with Kabbalah. Yeah, those teachings are just so amazing. I mean, everything that I've been learning, that was just like the last 3 weeks has been like, whoa, this is just confirmation and more tools and just kind of solidifying everything that I've learned, making it so simple. And I'm just like, man, if people had these teachings, life would be so much simpler, so much happier, more joy. We will be more in community. I mean, there will be less mental health. We wouldn't have to take all these prescription medications that are making us even more sick. So things could be so different because we could just heal ourselves. We have that power.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. And I think when you were talking about that just now, about the Kabbalah and the esoteric side of life, because there is an esoteric side in every culture, from the Aztecs to the Cubans to everywhere. There's always an esoteric side. But it's like there's only like a 2% initiated people who are initiated into that side. Why? There's a very big reason why. And it's fascinating. Human beings, unfortunately, have a reptile brain, right? So if you cling to the reptile brain, which is all bound to the body and the senses and the world, you're never going to want to explore that deeper aspect. You're not going to, because you're going to shut your eyes, you're going to turn your back, you're going to say, this is hocus pocus, right? You're going to say, this is all spiritual woo-woo stuff, forget it.
That's been all part of the programming for hundreds and hundreds of years. This is what the programming has been. What they call the false matrix, whatever. It's been to just kind of keep us away from our true essence, our power, who we really are here. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
I mean, I understand that, when you speak to people and you relate to them and you can relate to their struggles and their perspectives and their upset and their frustrated why they couldn't do more for themselves and their families and the abundant life. It's because of these limitations that you've been fed as, propaganda to keep you stuck in the system. And you didn't realize that you could, if you had taken some time to meditate and think about it for yourself, you could have pulled yourself out of the matrix. It's not easy. No one's saying it's easy, but it's possible.
Very possible. I know I have. I was in the, not that we don't still get darkness and we don't get like these things that what they call in Kabbalah, the opponent, Satan. You're going to keep getting these trials and tribulations, but you're going to be able to handle them better with the tools that we're given now. We call them spiritual tools that actually help us, make better decisions in our lives versus, create chaos and just be angry or be in lack. So I get it, man. Like, I am so hopeful for where we're going, because back maybe even a few years ago, we couldn't talk about this publicly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This would have been like, oh no, you're in trouble. They would have probably come at us some way in the light.
You know what, Jacqueline? It's such a beautiful time and such a beautiful foray and opening to this grander vista of conversation, of possibilities, of potential. And what I never used to talk about God. I never used to talk about God. I used to think that's for someone else. That's like those people who don't believe in themselves and they talk about God. And I used to think like that. And I used to think that it's got nothing to do with me. There's no God in my life or whatever. And then when I started thinking about it from a philosophical point of view, instead of running away from it, I started to question and think and sit with it and think and not be struggling with outer life circumstances, but just for myself to think, let me think about it. Let me see. What's agnostic? What's atheist? What's a believer? What's the better choice? Do you have a choice? Should I make a choice or not? So from that point of view, people can relate to me more because oh, that's the level I'm at. Yeah, that's what I thought about, but I never went any further. I said, are you happy though? No. So what choice do you think would make you happier? So
you kind of ask these questions in your coaching, and that's where I want to go into a little bit of, what got you into the health, the coaching, and the mentorship. What are these different areas come together in your work? So it all kind of intertwines together, right? So talk to me about that.
You see, now, perfect that you said that. I think now, because I'm not shy and I'm not scared anymore about talking about God. But Raj, he's a politician. He's an athlete. That's a musician. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You're all God. All right. So if you're going to come to me, you're going to get metaphysics. You're going to get religion. You're going to get philosophy. You're going to get psychology. You're going to get psychotherapy, psychotherapeutic modalities as well. I had to cover all of these different areas to see, is there God in all of them? Yes or no? And of course, God is omnipresent. So you cannot cut God out from anything.
No, I agree with you because, one thing that I found in this spiritual journey, and this was, I think, at the beginning of last year, I was struggling with my human life and then the spiritual life. How do I kind of put them together? Because in my mind, and in a lot of people's mind, I'm sure a lot of people can relate, it's separate. Spirituality and then your human experience is completely separate. And it's not. Everything in life is spiritual. My husband said that to me. And when he said that, I was like, what? Everything's spiritual, but how? And I started asking the question, how is this spiritual? How is this spiritual? And it started getting, revealing itself. And I'm like, oh my God, everything is spiritual because everything is God. We are one with God. We are, you know what I mean? Like God created everything, even the opponent, even Satan or whatever you want to call it. Everything was created by him, so everything is good. Everything is perfect.
That's right.
We just got to trust him. Trust that he has a purpose for whatever it is that we're going through. Even in the darkest moments in our lives, there's always light. Right. There's a reason for that.
That's right. And what I do, I think, to reconcile, with the modern day person, because I'm a modern person, you're a modern person, I have to make sense to the modern people, even those who don't believe or who think, they don't believe or whatever it is. I say you have to have a positive principles system of life. Whether you say God or you don't, you have to live by positive principles, period. If you
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
you're going to suffer unnecessarily. And at the time,
Yeah, you're just gonna make it so much more difficult. You're delaying your gifts. You're delaying the abundance of anything that you want in your life. If you wanted, money in the bank account, endless money. You wanted a great job. You wanted a great relationship. You're delaying that process because you are stuck in your lack. Lack of fear, lack of worry, lack of whatever it is, whatever your lack is, you're stuck in that. When you can make it so much easier to just, hey, God help me. How can I do this better? And you'll get those downloads, you'll get those messages like you had at 3 years old. You had all these messages and all these things coming, and those were just pure downloads of information that you already knew. Somehow you were tapped in.
I think, with all humility, I think we all already know all of this. It's just a question of you allowing the distractions in the modern world to crowd out those thoughts and that frequency, or are you deliberately seeking out that frequency to hold on to it? That's the question. What are you latching onto? What are you holding on to? What are you looking for? Because as the Bible,
that is true.
as the Bible says, seek and you shall find. Knock the door and it shall be opened unto you. So I appreciate the Bible so much now, because we, thankfully, in our tradition in Vedanta, we have a guru who has translated the entire Bible, and he's made it very accessible to the modern reader who wants to understand the real essence of Christ and what it means for the modern man. And is it antiquated, or is it definitely the thing to abide by? So I think, back to your question, we have to have a modern understanding of principles. And if you don't live by positive principles, not only are you going to suffer, you're going to retard your progress. You're going to retard other people's progress. And you're not going to be happy when you die, right? You're not going to be happy that you had regret, or that you lived negatively, or that you didn't help someone when you could have done, or you didn't help yourself when you could have done. You're going to regret that, period.
Oh yeah. And then we're going to come back and we're going to redo it all over again.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to do it all over again. And I'm like, wait, when I heard that, I'm like, I'm not coming back to do this again. Next time I come back, I want to have a different kind of life. I want to have a better life. You know what I mean? I don't want to go through everything I've gone through here. No.
Exactly. And Buddha said, my religion, let's, I used to be scared about religion as well, guys. It's okay. I'm not scared of religion anymore because I understand it. So Buddha said, my religion is to live and die without regret. So that means to live and die without regret means you have to adhere to positive principles.
Yep.
That's the only way 100%. You're going to die with a smile on your face.
No, 100%. I agree with that. I mean, the Buddha teachings, Christ, all of it. It's if you really take the teachings, not what back in those times they wanted us to believe, but the actual teachings, the decode what the messages are in the Bible. And I've had my things with not really wanting to kind of get into the Bible and stuff like that. There's always been that thing because there's so much control, so much negativity, so many things in there also that I just couldn't resonate with it. And I think it was because of my own experience in church and in, Christian, religion and stuff like that just things didn't resonate. They would bring down all the other religions or spiritualities. They will bring down that if you did yoga, that was from the devil, all these things. And I'm just like, how that doesn't make sense to me. So, I had to get away from all of it because I was just like, I don't get any of this. This doesn't make sense to me. And when I started searching for the truth, when I started healing in the last 2.5 years, the truth has come. And I am just like, I don't even need to read the Bible. I don't need to open it. I ask for a question. I open up, let's say, my YouTube, and there I go and tap into whatever podcast it is, and there goes the message that I need. You know what I mean? And I know it's true because it feels true inside of me. It feels true in my heart. Nothing wrong with the Bible. That's not, my husband is more of the Bible person, because he was raised in Christianity, hardcore. So he gets it. He was a youth pastor. He understands everything. And now he knows how to, say, oh my God, the Buddha's teachings, this teaching, that it's all intertwined. It's all the same messages. Just, one is fear-based. The other one is not fear-based. Exactly. The one says to go outside of yourself to find God. And the other one, it says, go inside of yourself to find healing and find your true self. Now, Raj, what personal experiences or challenges led you to develop the 7 Minutes to Bliss program and the 3-3 Metaverse Breathing Method?
Well, again, talking about the subject of the breath, if I could just talk about that a little bit. There's so many amazing things that we don't know about the breath. When we're born, we take our first breath. when we die, we take our last breath. And in between, there's this whole range of emotions, experiences, memories, learnings, wisdom that's accumulated through this incoming and outgoing breath process. And believe it or not, the breathing, when you start doing breathing methods, you can really start to shape the way you see things. You can expand your perceptions. You can see things differently. You can raise your level of vibration, your level of frequency. And, there's so many things that come with this breath. When people teach you in school, what are you breathing? Oh, they say air. What's air? Oxygen. Well, that's a tiny, tiny part of it. Right. The truth is, this air that you call air or oxygen, which is all around us, is actually constituted of the three main things.
What are those?
The first thing is light. The next thing is electricity. And the next thing is magnetism.
Okay.
Right? So had you heard of this before?
No, I mean, with the things that I'm learning, I'm understanding that the light and the frequencies and the energies and all these things are, part of us. This is very important for our health, for us to ascend our frequencies, for us to be, to heal ourselves. So I'm starting to understand them, but I have never heard of them together like that, like the way you're saying it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So this atmosphere is full of power. It's full of energy, 24/7. But the funny thing is, if you don't know this and you don't take it into your system, you won't benefit to the maximum extent possible. You know what I mean? You won't be able to charge up your immune system or your nervous system with this power, which is all around you, if you don't know about it.
Right. Okay.
But it's like a fish is swimming in the water, right? Like its whole life is swimming in the water. And if you tell the fish, you're swimming in water, they go, what? What do you mean? Because they've always been in it from the beginning. So they've never been able to stand on the side and say, what is that stuff I'm swimming in? They just took it for granted, right?
Right, yeah. You're right. And we do, as human beings, we do take it for granted. Because you know what? It's funny you say that. Years ago, before I started my journey, I remember I would struggle with breathing. Sometimes I would tell my husband, I'm like, I think I'm forgetting to breathe, and he's like, well, breathe. And he will have to remind me because I would literally have minutes sometimes that I would just forget to breathe. And it was because I was constantly up here, and I was struggling with my own mental health and my own things. And that didn't allow me to breathe naturally. The way that I'm breathing now is so different. So yeah, wow. Okay. I never heard of that fish analogy like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is because, as you said, when we relate it to humans have always been breathing. So they take it for granted. You never thought that, what is this stuff? Like, how is that enabling me to think, to move, to dream, to interact with people, to speak, to digest, to function my brain? Yes, everything. Because without breath, without 3 minutes without breath, you're gone. You're dead.
Yeah, that is true. And we don't think about those things. Those things were not even taught to us. It's like we've been like these weird humans walking around the earth just like da-da-da, without really knowing all these benefits of just something so simple as breathing, your breath.
Yeah. But you know what I've come to realize? Yeah. It's just all of this comes from my first wanderings about dinosaurs and evolution. Again, it comes back to that. Because dinosaurs were breathing as well.
Yeah.
Right, but is it not the same prana? The same prana, we call it prana in Vedanta yogic. We call it life energy and chi in Chinese. Chi. Yeah. Is it not the same energy that all animals breathe that we breathe? Is it not the same?
It's the same.
It's the same. So there's the link of energy between all living creatures that breathe.
Yeah.
That's why you have feelings around other living beings, whether it's a cow, whether it's a donkey, whether it's a human being. You feel something. There's this shared energy going on.
Yeah, that is true. Now, do you want to go into that the method, the breathing method that you wanted to teach me?
Sure. Okay. Absolutely. So first I'll ask, do you do any breathing methods yourself?
Yes. I actually do Vipassana, and then I've been doing this it's called Ice and Fire breathing method that I came across. And then tapping into, I don't know if you're familiar with Sadhguru, the yogi. He's got his own breathing methods too that are really great. So I kind of try to do different ones. But Vipassana, which, is the Buddha's teachings, that's the one that I'm more familiar with because I went to the retreat last October. So that's kind of like what I've been familiar with more.
Yeah, I see. Okay. And on a daily basis, how long do you do them for, the breathing method?
I meditate for about an hour every single day. So I do my breathing there. Sometimes I'm focused more on the sensations, but then when my brain doesn't want to stop, I go into breathing and just focus on the nose area, on the nostril area. So you stay focused here.
Good.
Yeah.
So you've heard of Wim Hof?
Yes. He's insane. I love him.
Yeah. Did you try that one?
You know what? I haven't really, I've kind of tried it, but didn't stick to it, because to me, it was like even the whole cold plunge thing. I tried it one time and it was insanely crazy for me, but my husband actually has a YouTube channel doing his own like Wim Hof thing, like he went into the ice bath. Yeah, he did that for a while, and it had great benefits for him. So, but I haven't tapped into him too much yet.
Okay. It's interesting because a lot of people, they will try it once or twice because it seems exciting, it seems something new. But when you ask them on a day-to-day basis, most of them, they don't do it.
Exactly.
It's difficult, it's uncomfortable, the kind of forced hyperventilation type of breathing through the mouth. They don't find it's comfortable. The cold exposure, most people in the UK, is kind of a cold country anyway.
Yeah.
For half the year. So they don't tend to want to jump in an ice tub full of ice cubes or anything like that.
No.
They'll do it if they're pushed and they're kind of like cajoled with a group or something, or watch a YouTube video. But after they've done it once, they don't do it again.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I did it once. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm from Cuba. I don't like cold weather, even though I live in a place that we get some cold. But I'd rather my heat. I like.
Yeah, exactly. So this method, the 7 minutes of bliss, or it's also called the 3-3 Metaverse Breathing Method. It was born out of a desire to help my clients who are stressing out around the COVID period. Relationships weren't going well with guys. They weren't meeting, so they were feeling quite anxious and stuff like that. So I taught them a method to help really reduce the stress and anxiety by 50 to 60% in 3 minutes or less. Yeah. And it also quiets the monkey mind. You can see here, this monkey mind idea goes to sleep, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Puts the monkey mind to sleep really fast.
I need my monkey mind to go to sleep. It's always going. I'm very creative. So I'm constantly thinking of what I can create next. So yeah, it's hard to shut it down. Even with Vipassana, it's been so hard.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people who can't sleep well, they do this method and they fall asleep within 30 to 90 seconds. They just fall asleep.
Wow. Oh, I need that.
So we'll do a nice, succinct, short version. If you have any questions in the middle, feel free to stop me and I'll explain.
Sure. You got it.
Yeah. So first what we do is we check the nostril flow. So we do that by blocking the right nostril and breathing out through the left, and then switch over, breathe through the right. And can you get a sense, Jacqueline, are they 50-50 balanced, or is one more open than the other?
I think this one was more open than this one.
The right one's more open. So it's like maybe 40-60 ratio, roughly. 40,
yeah,
60.
about there, yeah.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, Jacqueline, where 1 is terrible and 10 is amazing, how would you say you feel overall right now?
I feel a little more calm, and then I feel like I could actually breathe a little better. In that little bit, I could just feel more of the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say you're feeling right now overall?
Overall, I would say about a 7.5.
Right. So what I'm going to do is to explain how we do this method.
Okay.
It's very simple. It's very gentle. It's very soft. So it's 3 parts in through the nose, like this. Okay. I'm not sure if the sound... oh, you did hear it. Perfect. Yeah. And then, because some of the text sometimes on certain platforms, they mute the sound when it's like not a voice, So, and then, no, you don't
Is
have
it
to do
breathing
anything.
in? Is it breathing in?
Sniff, sniff, sniff. And then on the exhale...
Oh, it's exhaling. Okay.
Yeah, nice and relaxed. Let it out, nice and gentle. The last exhale is a bit longer. It's more like a ha, ha, ha. Open the mouth a bit, not too much. I know, it's a bit different than what...
It's different.
It's different. So it's like, it's very soft. It's like ha, ha, like you're laughing, but without the vocal cords. H sound instead of a more but in Spanish, they've got that thing with the J and the H, right?
Yeah.
Jota. So it's going to be a J sound for you because you're Spanish speaking. Jota, jota, jota. There you go. That's better. That's still better.
Okay.
Because I know Spanish. Hablo un poquito español también.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know they pronounce J or H like a J sound and J like a H sound.
Right.
So
okay.
if you make it a J sound, then you'll be doing the right one. Well, it's more fun. It's more from
I
the
know
back.
it's difficult
Is it?
for me a little bit. Yeah.
It's not. Just try it once.
Oh wow, that is so difficult. Oh my God, I don't know if it's just me.
No one else has done it quite like that. Because it's like the 3 in is no problem, right?
No.
Yeah. And now,
I feel the difference.
yeah.
I'm feeling the difference now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. It's a gentle aspiration from the back of the throat. You see,
We're gonna have to practice. We're gonna have to practice this.
like you see when I do it like you, when I do it this way, just gently.
We'll keep practicing it more. Okay.
But you feel a little bit relaxed.
Yeah. It feels different when I try to do it like hard, like too hard. I can notice this is moving, but when I do it softer, it's just like the air is flowing out. It's just flowing. Okay.
Exactly. So this one is, you said you're Cuban, you've got a bit of the alpha style mindset. Don't need to force. Relax. See, everything in the Eastern philosophy, Kabbalah, yoga, Vedanta, even the esoteric yoga of Jesus.
Yeah.
Soft, gentle, relaxing.
See, and that's what I've been learning more because I was raised so masculine, so tough, so rough. Everything was, you know what I mean? And now it's like I'm learning to be more my feminine, which is more gentle, more nurturing. So
relax and trust to the universe. Relax. Nice and soft. Okay? Good. So we're going to do it for a minute together.
Okay.
And keep the eyes closed and just observe and feel what's happening within. Okay? Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go. Not so fast. Slower. A bit slower. Okay. Now keep your eyes closed, Jacqueline. Just relax, relax, relax. And just gently feel what's happening within. Just totally relax. Just feel what's happening within. And keeping your eyes closed, Jacqueline, tell me what you notice and how you feel.
Calm and peace. I feel like my mind wasn't even thinking of anything. Felt like energy flowing. There was no stuck energy anywhere. It was just like the energy flowing through my whole body. Very, very gently. It was very gentle.
So it's flowing through your whole body, yeah?
Yeah.
And did you notice your heart rate slow down a bit?
Yes, I did.
Does that feel pleasant?
Yes, it actually felt a little warm in this area.
In the heart area?
Yeah, the heart felt warmer.
And you already touched on this, but that mental chatter of the monkey mind, is that decreased?
Oh my God, like a lot. Like so much.
Does that feel pleasant?
It does. It really does. Oh, wow.
You've never done a breathing method like this before?
No, I mean, just like I said, like the Vipassana, and that's, it focuses on the mind and matter and just focus on the breathing around the nostril area and then the sensations in your body, but nothing like this. It's very different. Like with Vipassana, it's so hard to, quiet my mind, my monkey mind. It's constantly going, and with this method like that, I was able to just shut it down.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
So now I'll ask you, do you feel an expanse of mind beyond the body? Like you're something way bigger than the body? Like your consciousness or your mind is expanding beyond the flesh and bone? Do you feel something like that?
I feel lighter. I feel lighter.
You say like a feather or something like that?
Like I'm floating.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost like I'm floating.
And if you consider you just did this for 60 seconds, you said you felt I think 7 out of 10?
7.5.
Yeah. And now what you feel?
At a 10. Oh my goodness.
And considering that that you only did this for 60 seconds, how surprised are you at how quickly it worked? 1 being not surprised, 10 being very surprised.
I'm extremely surprised. I mean, I kind of tapped into your stuff for a little bit. I was looking at your website and I'm like, okay, I'm really curious to see what this is, because there's so many breathing modalities out there. And I just did yours and wow, it's really good. You don't need, I mean, you could do it for 2-3 minutes, but even 60 seconds, you feel the difference. You really do.
So
It's like you're
almost
scanning your body. You could scan your body and feel
right.
different. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's go 1 to 10, Jacqueline. How surprised are you how quickly this worked?
I would say a 10. I'm very surprised. Very surprised.
You can check your nostril flow. I think you said it was 60-40 last time.
Yes.
If
You want to do it again?
Yeah, just check the nostril flow. You
Can I open my eyes already?
No.
Oh,
Just
okay. Keep them closed. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check gently. Tell me what it's like. Is it a bit different or?
It's different. Almost balanced. Almost the same. Yeah. It's almost the same. I want to say maybe like a 80. No, maybe 80.
45, 40. Oh,
how do you do that? 45? Wait, how do you do it on your end?
So you would say if it's you said 60-40, maybe it would be
So
like
it will be
50-50.
So we're looking at 45, 45?
45,
50?
55, 45, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you surprised that was really quick for it to shift and maybe it's cleared up a little bit, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. You noticed that?
Yeah, no, I did. Even it's funny because even when I was blowing out the first time, I was trying to be very like gentle with it because I didn't want like stuff coming out of my nose, but I could feel like it was a little wet. And this time around, it was nothing. There was no wetness. It was just air, air.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. When we do this method with children, because a lot of children have issues with, phlegm and, sinus. When we do this with kids, you know how quickly their phlegm dries up.
How quickly?
Within 2 minutes. Easy.
Wow.
And they don't all that kind of gunky stuff that just, involuntarily just comes out. Parents have to wipe their nose or tell them to blow their nose and all. This all stops.
Wow. Yeah, no. You know what? I got to teach my grandkids this. Oh, yeah.
So, the other point was, do you feel relaxed and like if you were going to go to sleep, like if you did this before sleep, do you think you would just relax into a more peaceful sleep? How do you think?
You know what? I think it will work because to be quite honest, for the last 7 years when I was going through all my depression and anxiety, I had to tap into plant medicine and I used cannabis. And that's been my medicine of choice for all these years because I couldn't sleep. Again, my monkey mind constantly going and being sick and everything. That was the only thing that allowed me to at least fall asleep and sleep. And I feel like this is something that I can tap into and maybe kind of like, let go of the cannabis, a bit or probably even completely, because the main reason why I used to, I use it was for, my body pains, for my depression, so I could sleep. So, just kind of like disconnect and relax. But just this breathing method right now it's easy and, it's cost effective. It's natural. Not that plant medicine is not natural, but this could be a really great method to utilize for sure. Wow.
Yeah. People who've done previous podcasts with us, they say they do DMT, they do ayahuasca, they do, cannabis. When they do this, they say they get the same effect from those things, but this was easier and quicker and they didn't have to go running after items to purchase and set it up. You don't need to do anything.
Exactly. Wow.
So,
yeah, I definitely will put that into my nightly practices. Yeah. For sure.
There you go. You can open the eyes and it's actually fun. Yeah.
I'm so relaxed. I don't think I'm in my what I call my blue zone right now. I'm so chilled and relaxed. Wow, this is pretty cool. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Now you can see
Thank you.
why the organizations and corporate NHS, Oracle software company, Novartis medical company, you're like, oh my gosh, this is never done anything like this before.
Wow. Yeah, this is insane. This is so good. Wow, Raj. Wow. Okay. So I definitely am gonna be doing this because I'm blown away. It's just 60 seconds. I'm sorry, I'm still taking it in. I'm like,
I want to help you get more out of it, because what will happen is, I'll tell you some very interesting examples and stories that we get from our clients who do this, who we coach. So first, the science is, because you need to understand the science. When you do this method, you release endorphins from your brain, which are pain-relieving hormones.
okay.
Which you already have in your brain, but you've never perhaps been taught how to access that.
No.
Right?
Not
School
at all.
doesn't teach you. They don't teach you that. No.
No.
Because they want to keep you dependent on the pharmaceutical industry.
Of course. Yeah. It's easier to pop a pill than tap into your, the natural stuff.
But is it? You saw how easy this was.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the misconception that people have, where they're like, oh, just pop the pill, I'll be fine. No, go the holistic route. Trust me, it's better, it's healthier, it works, and it's not just something to maintain whatever it is that you have. It actually will heal you. You can heal yourself. This is one of the things you can do to heal yourself.
Correct. So what it does, as well as releasing endorphins from your brain, which are pain-relieving hormones that you have yourself, it also releases serotonin and dopamine, which are feel-good, happy hormones, as well as anandamide. Ananda comes from the Sanskrit word bliss. Ananda.
Okay, Ananda. Okay. I'm like,
Ananda.
Amanda? I don't know an Amanda. Ananda. Ananda. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
It's an ancient Sanskrit word that means bliss. So you have this bliss chemical in your brain already.
And I'm just tapping into it.
Correct.
Now, I am feeling a little, like, for me, whenever I go through these different practices, my fire element activates. And I'm feeling it kind of rising a little bit, very gently. It's not like in Vipassana that I was burning up. I'm like, oh my God, why is it so hot in here when it's freezing cold outside? You know what I mean? So it's very gentle. It's a very gentle feeling of heat.
Yeah. Yes. It's normal.
Interesting.
It's normal.
Yeah. I'm very sensitive. I literally will feel all kinds of stuff.
The people that we do this on, and women, because women are so attuned to their emotions, right? Yeah. There are men as well who are very sensitive, but the majority of women are so finely tuned to their intuition and their sensitivity, because they normally have to look after children, and they're always looking at the needs of the kids, the babies and so on. Right. Exactly. So they're very dialed into their emotional needs and their emotional natures. So they love this because it helps them to relax. And if they're, they need to get to sleep, or they need to calm their children down, they do it with their children. The whole household becomes in flow state, relaxed, peaceful, calm, gentle. The love comes out of the heart, because there's nothing obstructing it. People don't want to fight, because when you feel good, you don't want to lose that feeling. No, you don't. Yeah. I mean, everyone feels like that. No one wants to fight. So
no, I'm a lover, not a fighter anymore. I'm done fighting. This is beautiful.
Do martial arts, but not the other thing, Jacqueline, is it also activates the vagus nerve, which is behind the throat.
Oh, beautiful. Because you know what is funny? I started a podcast last March because I started it with an old friend of mine, and my guides kept telling her she needs to get on podcast. She needs to open up her throat chakra, because it was shut down for years. I mean, I went through so much that this ended up being just shut down. I went through like having vertigo and tinnitus and losing my memory, and I didn't even feel certain or comfortable even having a conversation with anyone, so I was shut down for a very long time. And now I'm seeing how the different practices that I do, it's activating my throat chakra even more, so I'm noticing that I feel the heat in this little area right here, and inside my mouth and my tongue, I feel it a little warmer.
Yes.
Okay. That's normal. Okay.
The vagus nerve is behind the throat, it's behind the face and behind the gut as well. Okay. parasympathetic nervous system. Rest, digest, healing, deep sleep, recovery from trauma, recovery from injuries. That's what that's about. You don't activate that. You're always in freeze, fight, flight on the sympathetic nervous system, and you're always worried, you're always stressed, you're always helter-skelter moods, fighting, conflict, constantly, adrenaline, cortisol. It's a bad investment to be always on the sympathetic side.
Yeah. You make yourself sick. When you're in that kind of, you stressed all the time and that energy all the time, you end up making yourself very sick. I know. I'm guilty of that.
But you see, you're not taught in the school system how to access half the day sympathetic, half the day parasympathetic, because it's all about materialistic desire. Go, 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 go. Feed the consumer machine and then die, right? And then you're buried in the ground. And you never learn that you are not supposed to be stressing out like that. You know, that's not the plan. So I'm telling people, I'm trying to help people, like, in your course of your day, you're supposed to take some self-care time. In Spain, they have siesta. I think in Cuba, they have the siesta idea.
I have no idea. I came when I was 2 years old in 1980. I don't remember anything. I just know that being raised in Miami, we were always go, 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 go. There was no siesta in the middle of the day. Like I would see my grandfather, my grandmother, everybody in my family just go to work and come home 7, 8 o'clock at night. It was just like work, 6, 7 days a week, and that was me until I got sick. And then I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't want to work 7 days a week. I don't want to have to put all this crazy energy into what I'm doing when it's not serving me. I want to be able to work smart, not harder. I love to create. I love to do different things, but I'm learning to schedule things, on a daily basis because every day is different. I cannot schedule like a whole week of things, except for like podcasting and stuff because I have to. But my own personal stuff, it changes on a daily basis. Yeah. Depending how I feel, I do different practices. So I'm learning how to just be more conscious about the things that I need for myself before I can. If I don't give myself what I need, I can be at service for other people. Is what I've noticed because I never took care of me. I was about everyone else and never took care of me at all. And these last 2.5 years has been to learning self-love and how to take care of me and put myself first so I can be a better person, a better human being,
That's right. Absolutely. And I think, when you find what you enjoy most in life, whatever your mission is, whatever your calling is, all you're supposed to do is focus on that and also earn money from it so that you can pay other people to do stuff that you don't necessarily have the time or inclination to do. Because if you don't do that, you're actually preventing the blessings to other people, to mow your lawn, to fix your house, to fix your car. You're actually preventing the blessings for those people who have the assignment to do those things, and you're not letting them do it.
Yeah, and then the blessings are not coming for you either. And it's funny you mentioned that because that was a hard lesson that I had to learn back in a couple of years ago when, after a car accident, a few months later, I woke up. I'm like, I want to open up my own business. And I got into real estate. We bought our first property, rehabbed it, turned it into an Airbnb. And that's when I was working, like 7 days a week. And, I was doing a job of 10 people, mostly myself, because, up in where I'm at in the mountains, I really didn't know anyone. I didn't trust anyone. And, I had to be so mindful of how much money I was, investing in this and investing in that I didn't realize that by me keeping, my money, because I thought I was being smarter that way, I ended up losing it all, like everything. And I got sick. So not only did my finances went down the drain, but my health also got affected with that mentality because it was fear-based.
Correct.
It was all fear-based.
What you focus on the most.
Yeah.
If you fear, and you focus on the emotional fear, that's what happens. That you attract more fear vibrations into your life.
Exactly.
If it's light, love, and trust, then you get more of that into your life.
Yeah. And what's the funny part is the first 2 years, I was successful. I mean, I was growing my business. I was managing other properties. I was rehabbing other houses and staging them and putting them on Airbnb. And I was managing them. Like I was doing all these different things. For 2 years, I was just there. And I could feel my body and my mind, everything starting to get sick and sicker and sicker. But I was just like, go, go, go. So very successful for 2 years. And then my health hit. My grandmother passes away. My health goes down the drain, mentally, physically, everything. And then I lose everything. And then that's when my guides were like, if you don't focus on your health, you're not going to be on this earth any longer. You're done, And yeah, so basically 2023 forward has been all about my health, both mentally, physically, spiritually, all of it. And I've healed myself completely with no medications, nothing. Just me tapping into the resources that God gave us, and just learn to heal me. And I'm still learning. I mean, I'm a student. I'm a life learning student. Like, I'm always learning something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And I think now that you can learn about how breathing methods help activate your parasympathetic nervous system, you can rest and digest and relax. Even in the middle, you can take 2 minutes, 3 minutes in the middle of a busy day, and you can completely switch it off and not give a care in the world, and just realize that there are forces higher and bigger than us that can take care of those things.
Yeah. I've learned not to carry all those baggages. And here you go, God. Take care of it. You handle it. I'm listening. I'm going to listen.
Because if you think about it, Jacqueline, it's a great, as well as going deep into the meditation, I've been practicing yoga for 25 to 30 years. People would say to me, people who are doctors, and they've tried this method, and they say, where did you get this from? I have no idea that I lived all these years. I never knew there was anything like this. I was freaking myself out, my kids, my family. And you just come one day, you just teach me one thing, and you completely wipe out the problem. But people don't understand, Jacqueline. I spent years and years and years studying evolution. Goes back to my story with the dinosaurs, right?
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you've been doing this since pretty much you came to this planet.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Wow. Now you're an author. You wrote a book, and the name of the book is How Squats Can Change Your Life, and it ranked top 10. So that's pretty cool. So what made you choose squats as a focal point, and what impact have they had on your life?
Well, I think, when you're a busy person in the city, like I live in London, as a super busy, right? So you think, I can't go to the gym every day. I used to go, 3, 4, or 5 times a week, and that was not, 1 or 2 hours a day. It's not sustainable.
Right.
So I thought, what workout can I do that will give me the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time? So I've read physiology since I was young, physiology, anatomy. I was curious about how the human body.
Right.
So I already knew that the biggest muscles in the body are the legs, and they're the most demanding. So if you work the leg muscles, you'll give your heart and lungs and your cardiovascular system and your circulatory system a good solid workout if you use your legs.
Right.
So then I thought, okay, let's just work on squats. So I did weighted squats, body weight squats, all types of squats. And then I realized squats help you get into a breathing rhythm. They help you maintain your muscle density, your bone density, so your muscle strength, your mobility, your flexibility. So if you just do squats, if you can do nothing else and you've got 10 minutes, do body weight squats.
Nice. Okay.
Simple routine.
And it's funny because squats has been like the most difficult for me.
Right.
And well, when I was younger, when I was, obviously a teenager in my 20s and stuff like that, even up to my 30s, it wasn't as difficult. But because I went through so much, my body deteriorated. I mean, I was aging so quickly, a few years ago. And, everything that I put myself through mentally, affected my body. So when I do squats or any movement, any simple exercise, 5 pounds worth of weights or whatnot, I'm in pain for the next 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So for me, I have to take it extremely easy because my body is not used to it. I mean, we used to go hiking all the time. We haven't really been hiking as much this last year. So it's like, I got to get my body back to more movement. So I'm noticing that even when I do squats, the next day I'm like, man, like I'm in pain, like everything is hurt. So then subconsciously, I don't do it again for a while when I'm supposed to, actually do it again and keep doing it so I can. It's like, a muscle, you have your muscles and you keep working them out so they could build up and they could get nice. Well, if you don't do that constantly, then you get weak. Your muscles are weak. And for us women in our phase with the premenopause and all that, our muscles and our bones and all that starts getting like very weak. So I'm kind of noticing that that's what's been happening because I had a horrible, horrible premenopause. I mean, it's better now, thank God, but it now getting my body used to, being active, more active.
Yeah, absolutely. So squats, as described in the book, you do small micro routines. You can do like 2 or 3 minutes a day, no problem. You're going to be fine. It's going to help you recover quicker. You're going to sleep better. Your heart and lungs are going to get a good, decent workout.
Right.
So even if you only do, say, 3 sets of 12 squats, but all the way down, not to 90 degrees. We never recommend going to 90 degrees because you're not getting the full amount of flexion all the way down from butt to your heels. You should go all the way down, get maximum amount of flexion. Then you're going to get the maximum benefit out of it.
Right.
So it's helped people like understand what exercise to do. You don't have to do millions of exercises. Just pick one or two, and squats is definitely should be one of them.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So even if it hurts, just kind of keep on, be obviously mindful of my body, but just kind of like maybe keep doing it. Maybe how many reps do you recommend for, let's say, someone like me that is kind of going back into exercising little by little?
I coach a lot of people of all ages and with all types of health challenges and everything. What you have to do first to make your life easier for squatting, if you can do the hamstring stretch, which means when you touch your toes, if you can touch your toes and gradually aim to get your nose towards your knees when you touch the ground, that is going to help stretch your hamstrings so that you can flex your knees easier.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't do that, you're going to have tight hamstrings and you're never going to like squats. You're never going to like them because it doesn't feel easy for you ever.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
If you stretch your hamstring first, you'll make the legs nice and soft so that you'll easily be able to squat easier and easier and easier.
Nice. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for that little tip. I'll try it. Awesome. So let's dive into what has been one of the most transformative success stories you've witnessed from someone using your methods.
We've had a lot recently, a lot. So I'll tell you about Irene from our TikTok channel. We do live streams every day on TikTok.
Okay.
About health, fitness, and wellness, and getting away from prescription medicine.
Okay.
People come to us and they tell us a whole list of meds they're taking. 12, 15 meds, and sometimes for years and years and years. And now my doctor keeps giving me this thing, that. They never want to take me off anything. They want to keep adding things.
Of course. You know how that goes.
It's sad in the UK, NHS, whatever. And I'm just thinking to people,
you're kidding me? Even in the US, it's horrible. Everything it's medication. Here, pop a pill. And next thing you know, you're taking 20 things, and then it's helping with one thing. It's messing up a whole bunch of other stuff. My grandmother was like that. I mean, she's passed now, but I remember bringing her with me. We used to every October bring her with us, and stay with us for a whole month. And she used to come with a bag full of, medication. And I'm like, okay, stop. What are the two main ones that you need to stay alive? And that's it. She will pick her two, and the rest of the bag will go in the garbage. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Your body can't process all that.
No. Kidding me? Your kidneys, everything.
Yeah. So she, this lovely lady called Irene, she came to our TikTok live. She heard us talking about, when people do FYP for YouPay on TikTok. And everyone starts watching in when they see that. And this lady was desperately scrolling on TikTok at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Oh,
right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But people can't sleep. They start scrolling on TikTok and they start looking for things and they don't know what they're doing and they just, I don't know what to do. I'm just looking for stuff, right? If she finds our live stream, 150 people pour in, right?
Wow.
Because they hear me talking a rant against the pharmaceutical industry. And I say to them, look, I've not taken meds for 20 years. I haven't seen a doctor for 20 years. I haven't had an X-ray, an ultrasound, or an MRI for 20 years. How do you do that? So I do yoga methods, breathing methods.
Yeah.
Right?
You eat healthy.
I'm a vegetarian, right? For 25 years.
There you go.
And this lady, Stress, says to me, I've been taking morphine for 15 years. I said, 15 years?
God.
Are you serious? She says,
That's crazy.
Yeah. And her organs are starting to deteriorate. So she desperately messages, please, here's my WhatsApp number. Please call me. I want a session with you. I know you know what you're talking about. I hear your compassion. Please coach me. Tell me what I have to do. So we coach her the next day. She pays the money. We coach her. And then she's like, within the first session, like you felt, she starts to feel relaxed and peaceful. And like, oh, I can breathe. I can smile. Oh, this is how I'm able to wean myself off meds and tell the doctor no more.
Yeah.
Give me that, or I'm leaving you. I don't want you as my doctor. I'm sorry. And she's written us an amazing testimony. It's on our website. Her name's Irene. You can look it up.
Irene. And how long has she been doing your method for? About a week now. Nice. And she's seeing the results immediately. Well, like me, I like that in 60 seconds. I can tell.
Yeah. ADHD.
So she's not taking meds, nothing. She's not doing meds anymore.
She's decreasing it. steadily. I
little
told
by
her,
little.
be common sense, use common sense and just decrease bit by bit. As you feel
Yeah.
better, wean yourself off. She's also ADHD, and that it disappeared within 2 or 3 minutes of doing our method.
Beautiful. Wow. I love that. Now, how do people that are struggling with staying motivated, what advice would you give to someone trying to break through mental resistance to a healthier lifestyle?
That's a fantastic question. That's a fantastic question. You've got to ask yourself, end of the day, who am I accountable to? Right?
Mhm. Right.
Who's watching you? Who's the ultimate judge? Who knows every
Yourself.
single thing you're doing? Is there a conscience watching through your eyes? Who's giving you the ability to see and to breathe and to move your body? What is that?
Mm.
If you can make your kinship or your union with him or with that
Yeah.
intelligence, then that's the best accountability partner you could ever have.
Mm. That's what they talk about in Kabbalah. Plug into the light of the Creator. When you plug in, everything else is smooth.
Taken care of.
Pretty smooth, right? It's taken care of. It is. It's taken care of. Yeah.
So that's what we recommend. Either get coaching from someone who can understand you and help you become accountable over a period of developing that habit. Maybe it's 3 months, maybe 6 months, depends, on how chronic the negative habit is. But help you find your own power. Help them into a community that is also forward-looking and positive and helpful and not critical, not trolling and being judgmental. No, that doesn't help.
Right.
You find that tribe, you find that group, you find a power within yourself, then you can stay with the tribe, or maybe you don't need to. So it's your choice. But
Right.
find your.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Community, finding your tribe, I think is very important in anything that you're doing, because when we try to do things by ourselves, not only does it get harder, but it's so hard to motivate yourself. It's so nice when you have someone, saying, hey, come on, you can do this, or hey, I believe in you, like, let's do this together, whatnot. It actually helps versus, you're trying to motivate yourself and you're not finding the motivation, because this mind is tricky. It tells us we're not good enough. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? Like, this is not going to work. All these little crazy thoughts that come in and popping in our heads every so often, or most of the time for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. But you think about it, it's like the programming you're given from the young age. If you've never been told that you're infinite, hey, you, Jacqueline, guess what? What, mum? What, dad? You're infinite. What? You're infinite. Did you hear what I said? You're infinite. You can do anything you want. As long as you follow certain principles, you can achieve, go as high as you want, be as happy as you want, and do good for others. And when you do good for others, you do good for yourself as well.
Exactly. As you raise your vibration, your frequency, the energy starts expanding out, and it affects the people around you. Even if they're not near you, your immediate family, friends, people that are close, they will feel those energies.
That's right.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Now, how do you see the role of breath work evolving in the future of health and wellness?
Yeah, again, it's a huge and a fantastic question. From our experience, when we speak on the live streams and we're able to be quite free in what we express, when people come to us and say, how are you guys able to get better and quicker results than the doctors, right? And I say, purely from using the power in the atmosphere and pulling that into our immune systems and our nervous systems, right? You'd be amazed what can happen if you stick with a practice of breath work for 7 days or 14 days or 21 days. You'll be amazed what can happen to you. So we see coaching, mentoring, accountability, and breathwork practices combined to see real results happen in people's nervous systems and immune systems. And then they feel better, their endocrine system gets better, their emotions get better, and they feel more confident. And again, why shouldn't you continue? Keep going every day.
Exactly.
10 minutes, 20 minutes,
It's not like my meditation practice that I do it for an hour, and I'm supposed to do it 2 hours a day, but an hour, it's all I have really for it, because I do other things, my studies and everything else. But this breath work is something for the audience to know, just 10 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever. Anybody can do this. There's no reason to put an excuse out there. Hey, I don't have time. No, you do. You got 7 minutes for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, you're not going to be successful in anything. You know what I mean? You're not.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the system in India, they call, when they grow up, children go to a master, a guru, and they learn in school. They call it the guru call.
Okay.
In the West, we've taken the word cool and turned it into school, but there's no guru in the school,
There's no guru.
right?
No.
So they're lost and confused. They have debt, they have mortgages, they have kids, they have divorce, they have ill health, and they die. It's not the plan. That's not the plan.
No, it's not definitely. That's why I say I'm hopeful because I know we're moving into a better life where things are shifting. So I'm very hopeful. It'll get a little chaotic before it gets better, but that's just part of the game. That's just part of it.
That's right.
Now, as a relationship performance and mentoring coach, what are the most common patterns you see holding people back from success?
Not having a clear plan for what you want, not having clear decisions about what is important for you, what are your priorities, what are your dreams, what are you about, not having that clear overview, macro plan for yourself. That's so important. And this society, materialistic society, doesn't want you to have that. They will not encourage that. It means that you'll become powerful. They don't want you to become powerful.
Of course not. Yeah.
It's not.
That's only for the big people, the elites, right?
We're all elites. We're all elites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
human potential, like if you start talking about human potential, you have to talk about God. Oh no, Raj, we want to talk about human potential without God. I'm like, don't be silly. How are you going to
It's
have
not
that
gonna work.
conversation? No. So
You take God out of the equation, you're making your life so much harder, man. So much harder.
exactly. That's
And
what
I know that from experience, 100%.
exactly. That's why, like we were saying earlier, Jacqueline, I'm not afraid to say the word God anymore. I put
Yeah.
God right in the middle of everything, no matter who you are, politician, gymnast, mom, dad, kid, dog, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever you want to call it, God, source, creator, universe, it's got so many names, but at the end of the day, whatever resonates with you, whatever the word is, at the end of the day, it's still that powerful light, that energy that we are all part of. That's where we come from. We're not separate. Yeah. Oh,
Beautiful.
I love it. I love talking about these things. Now, what are your top 3 non-negotiable habits for living a healthy, high-performance life?
Top 3 non-negotiable. I would say being happy, because that means to be happy, you're going to have to think positively. And if you're thinking positively, there's a reason why you're thinking positively. And that you've asked some deep questions about yourself. So being happy and being positive, helping others to be the same, always looking for solutions rather than dwelling on problems.
Beautiful. Okay. Now, what's going on with you, and what's coming up next for you in your Keep Fit Kingdom? Do you have any projects, any events, anything coming up that you want the audience to tap into?
Yeah, we've had a lot of people saying, can we join your newsletter? We'd like to know how you apply these breathing methods to all these different types of problems. So
Right.
we tried the method. We know it works. Amazing. How do you apply it to marriage problems? How do you apply it to children? How do you apply it to have a more peaceful home? How do you apply it to your career so you have less conflict with colleagues? How do you apply it to feel better about yourself, to remove inflammation from your body by doing it for a certain period of time?
Right.
So a lot of people want to know how to apply the breathing method. So we're doing a newsletter that's coming out in the next 2 weeks. So people could sign up for the newsletter and find out information on how to apply this. They can buy a course, they can do a course, they can do private one-to-one coaching, corporate group coaching. You can message us on WhatsApp through the website, keepfitkingdom.com. So it's an exciting time.
Good. Will you be interested in maybe like a workshop, something that maybe, we can do? Because I'm looking into bringing in maybe the top 10 people that have really great techniques and stuff like that. And I'm wanting to do a workshop this year. I'm not sure when yet. It's still like in the thought process. So if you're game for that, I would love to have you as part of that workshop. I think it will be really, really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing live streams, all kinds of workshops, Zoom conference calls.
Okay. Cool. Now, if listeners take only one thing away from our conversation today, what would you want that to be?
Create a relationship with your breath.
Why?
Because it's long overdue.
I love that. So true. Now,
if you think about it, I'll just make it a little bit concrete, just to help sort of dial it in a bit more. You can live for 40 days without food. You can live for 4 days without water, but you can't live for more than 4 minutes without breath. So the breath is the most intimate thing to you. Why should you not understand what it can do for you and its dynamics and its infinite creative implications for yourself.
Thank you. That's
You're
really, really cool. Thank you. Now we're at the end of our show, and I always like to do 3 closing questions. And the first one is if you could leave our listeners with one powerful message about health and transformation, what would that be?
When it comes to health and transformation, you need to understand that you're very creative. Yeah, every human being is very creative. So if you're able to harness your mind power with your breath and your vision of what you want, that's the most reliable way to transform yourself the way you want.
Now, where can the audience connect with you, learn more about Keep Fit Kingdom, and explore your program?
So yeah, best place is keepfitkingdom.com. And when you go to the website, you'll see a tab called the 3-3 product. That's by far and away the most popular area that everyone visits on the website, because there's testimonials, there's NHS, Novartis, Oracle talking about the breathing methods and what they've experienced. There's videos on there, more information on it. Okay. So that would be the best place. Yeah.
And I'll make sure to put that on the show notes as well, so they could just click on it. Perfect. Now, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice about health, mindset, or personal growth, what would it be?
Understand the purpose and meaning of life as early as you can, and you'll eliminate most errors. Enjoy a happy life and teach everyone you come into contact. Don't be shy. Open up.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that. And as we wrap up today's episode of the Dear Souls podcast, a sincere thanks to our guest for sharing his insights and wisdom. If this episode resonates with you, please subscribe, like, and share. It means the world. Keep growing, keep healing, and never stop shining your light. Until next time, dear souls, take care of yourselves.